thunder, I be feeling like I'm Chet. You switch up like KD.
What's going on, guys? It is the sixth episode of the Fan Take. I'm Cam. That's Tweety as usual. But today we got our very first guest to come on, DFT. Man. I got my homeboy Damon coming in to talk about some football stuff and
Sure.
anything you want to tell people.
I like to think I know what I'm talking about. God has blessed me with working with an NCAA team, so I've been around some stuff. So hopefully y'all can agree with some stuff I got to say. Hopefully.
All right, bro. But the first thing we got to talk about is the new NFL kickoff. NFL has now introduced a new kickoff that's going to be similar to the XFL kickoff. Very different from the current rules or the old rules now, rather. In the previous kickoff, the kicking team lined up on their 35-yard line with the receiving team lining up on their 50-yard line. The kicking team could take off as soon as the ball was kicked. If the kick ball reached the end zone, it was called a touchback and was automatically placed on the receiving team's 25-yard line. If the kick ball went out of bounds, it was placed approximately where the ball went out of bounds at. With the new hybrid kickoff, the kicking team still lines up on the 35-yard line, but the receiving team will line up on their 40-yard line. At least 9 players on the receiving team must line up on the 40-yard line. The receiving team is allowed to have up to 2 returners. The kicking team is not allowed to move until the returner receives the ball or the ball bounces within the opposite 20-yard line, which will now be called the landing zone. If the kick ball does not make it to the opposing 20-yard line, it is considered out of bounds and will be placed at the receiving team's 40-yard line. If the kick ball lands in the end zone or at the back of the end zone, which is the traditional touchback, the ball will not be placed at receiving team's 35-yard line instead of the traditional 25-yard line. If the kick ball lands within the 20-yard line but bounces into the end zone, the ball will be placed at receiving team's 20-yard line. The onside kick will now only be allowed if you are trailing in the fourth quarter and you have to make it known to the officials that you are going for it. Surprise onside kicks are now a thing of the past. Note this change was only supposed to be a 1-year experiment, but knowing NFL, when they make an experiment, it usually lasts. So the NFL wants to both reduce injuries for kickoffs and increase the amount of returns on kickoffs. Only 21% of kickoffs were returned last year, and the league hopes to get this number to 50 to 60%. Also, only 4 kickoffs were returned for touchdowns last year, which was the lowest since the 1983 season. After all of that, I hope y'all understand what's going on with this new kickoff. So, what do you think about the new kickoff?
Knowing the NFL, them changing stuff in the off season, that's not new. I'm very interested in see how this is going to trickle its way down onto college, because college still goes by the traditional kickoff. If we got any college fans that listen, so after a year of this, it's going to be interesting to see if it trickles its way down to college ball, or if college goes traditional and NFL and XFL are the only ones who do this whole hybrid kickoff. So it's an interesting experiment, I will say that, and I think it's definitely going to put more emphasis on the special teams. But really, fan-wise, I don't think anybody cares about this. I feel like the only people who care about this are owners, special teams coaches, and special team players. So,
what you guys say, too?
I think this is a horrible move. The traditional way was okay. I mean, why do you want more kickoffs? There's less offense, less defense. I mean, there's less play in the game. And, I mean, it said to reduce injuries. Who have you ever seen gotten hurt on the kickoff?
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Like, nobody's getting hurt on kickoff, so I don't mean the reduce injuries is out the window. I just mean that I think they just want the game to be more fast, but it don't make sense. I mean, now you're going to be scoring 50, 60 points because you're getting 2-3 kickoffs a game for no reason at all. I mean, those are just empty stats for players. I mean, they just helping out guys that are speedy that can't run routes. Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, I mirror the same sentiments. It's been a minute since you've seen somebody actually get hurt on kickoffs. I mean, you know, honestly, back in the day, they had the wedge and the wedge busters on kickoffs, and they had to get rid of that because people, you know, getting concussions and busting their head open like crazy. But I mean, recently, honestly, you know, I think it is kind of minimal problem that not many teams return kickoffs now. Usually they fair catch, which is now gone, or usually they'll you know, touch back in the end zone, automatically put the ball at 25-yard line. But I don't know. It's gonna seem very gimmicky at first. I think it's gonna be a bit uncomfortable to start for the casual NFL and football fan, and I really hope that we don't start getting 50, 60-point ball games because people are returning touchdowns once or twice every game. Because you think about it, you know, it works well in the XFL because the guys in the XFL aren't as talented as the guys in the NFL. So you put, for example, a Tyreek Hill in for kickoffs now, and you got the guy to where basically the kicking team and the receiving team, they're only 5 yards apart. So if you get Tyreek who can make a cut and go straight by the you know, the blockers and the tacklers, it's gonna be a touchdown at least once a game. So hopefully this I don't want it to go bad. Obviously, I do love the traditional kickoff, but I hope it does something for the game. I hope it doesn't, you know, get out of hand as far as returning kickoffs for touchdowns. But one question I want to ask both of y'all: what do y'all think about the new change with the onside kick?
That just takes the fun out of it. I'm sorry. I'm a big onside kick guy, especially fake onside. You know, when I think about onside kicks, and by surprise, the Pat McAfee. I'm sorry, one of the best punters of the 2010s.
Absolutely.
And, you know, man onsided it and caught his own onside. So I think now announcing it just ruins. And, you know, it was already kind of, I won't say easy, because when you're coaching, it's never easy to make a decision in the game. But when it came to the onside in games, you know, if it's a 1-point game and it's 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter, you obviously knew to put your hands team out there because they're most likely going to try onside it. So I'm not a fan of the whole you have to announce the onside, but that's just a rule that I think is one of those dumb barrier rules. There's no reason to announce it. And I think it's just a rule to make excuses for special teams that isn't as good as, say, another team.
What you got to?
I mean, yeah, there's no reason to announce the onside. I mean, you know when the onside kick coming, bro. Like, you know, when the other team ain't got enough time, they gonna kick the onside. So I mean, that's just something dumb they just threw in there to put more detail to take people's mind off what they really trying to do. Like, I mean, it don't really mean that.
Well, plus on an onside, if you look, the kicker doesn't line up where he would for a normal kickoff. He lines up to the side. Yeah. So instead of, you know, taking more of like a squared approach to kick the ball, they take more of a straight approach. So I think that's just something where,
I mean, you can still surprise. You can still kick a deep ball.
No, you can still surprise it, but it's rare to see that, because when you're kicking from a squared approach, it's hard to curve. It's hard to time a curve right, or else you'll just mess it up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think they try to sneak it in with the new kickoff thing, because people are going to be more focused on the new kickoff formation than they are going to be with the onside kick, I'm guessing. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, you don't really see a surprise onside kick before the fourth quarter if you're not trailing. But I feel like having an announcer is kind of unnecessary. You don't come on now, especially as Damon said, the kickers do usually line up in a different way when they're kicking the onside kick. So yeah, hey, it's NFL. We gotta live with it. we're gonna continue to watch anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if we watch it, we can't really complain about it.
Speaking of NFL rule changes, the hip drop tackle was recently banned. The NFL owners have voted to ban the swivel hip drop tackle. The swivel not hip hop. The swivel hip drop tackle is basically when a tackler wraps their arm around a ball carrier's legs or hip and proceeds to use their body weight to bring the ball carrier down, which often results in the tackler landing on the ball carrier's legs. Last season, 230 instances of this tackle were recorded, and 15 players missed time due to injury from the tackle, namely Pro Bowl tight end Mark Andrews, who fractured his fibula and had ligament damage to his left ankle. If the tackle is performed in game now, it will incur a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. Many former and current players have come out about this rule change on social media. JJ White tweeted, "Just fast forward to the belts with flags on them." Ryan Clark tweeted, "Go ahead and outlaw bringing offensive players to the ground. That's where it's headed. Make every game the Pro Bowl. This is getting ridiculous." Javon Holland tweeted, "Breaking news, tackling ban." What do both of y'all think about this rule change?
I mean, number-wise, when you like you said, 15 players miss time.
Yeah.
And if you're a casual fan, you'll say, oh, 15, that's not a big number. But when you know you're on offense, you only got 11 guys out there. So, and which about 6 or 7 of them are skilled depending on your formation. So when you think about it from, a standpoint of coaching and depth-wise, that is a big number.
Yeah.
And
I mean, these are humans we're talking about.
Yeah, these are humans we're talking about. As hard it is to believe, these are humans. But I understand why they're doing it. As a Dolphins fan, last year Titans game, Sean Murphy-Bunting brought down Tyreek with a hip drop horse collar, which messed up Tyreek for a little bit. But I support it, but at the same time I don't.
Yeah.
Because ain't nothing as satisfying to watch as a DB and a receiver in a chase down to the end zone. But at the same time, you don't want your favorite receiver getting hurt, especially if he's on your fantasy team or your money line.
Now you're talking about money. Now you're talking about money.
And listen, I'm just pointing out what I'm thinking here. I support it, but at the same time, I don't. Because I just feel like it's going to mess up a lot of things.
What you got, Tweety?
As a former 150-pound defensive lineman, this is one of the only things I could do. Like, I couldn't grab a guy up top and try to wrestle him down. I couldn't do that. Right. So I feel like for the corners and the safeties, man, this is horrible.
Yeah.
How are you going to tackle Derrick Henry as a safety and you can't?
Or AJ Brown.
Like, right? Like, how do you do that? Like, I think the NFL is trying to push offense so much right now. They're trying to see a 100-point game. It's a horrible rule. I mean, it's messing up tackling. I mean, you've been doing this since Little League, and especially smaller guys. So how are you supposed to learn how to tackle any differently? And this is what you've always been doing. I mean, I don't think you just can implement something like this just off the bat. Like, that's kind of crazy.
I mean, my problem with it is it's unnatural. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, they got rid of the horse collar tackle a long time ago. Well, the horse collar tackle, that wasn't football. I mean, you bringing somebody down by their neck. That's you can reason with that. But the hip drop tackle usually isn't on purpose. You know what I'm saying? The hip drop tackle is usually just you trying to, conservatively tackle somebody. They don't want to get their butt down. They keep trying to run. So when you when they keep running, your arms slide down, and you accidentally fall on their legs. It's not a unnatural motion. It's not an unnatural football play. So there's going to be a lot, especially in the first couple years of having this penalty in the game. There's going to be a lot of unnatural plays just because you got guys that are worried about getting hit with a flag because of the hip drop tackle. And there's going to be a lot of guys getting penalties and suspended and fined because this is something that is very, as I said, unnatural to the game because you're never purposely trying to tackle somebody and fall on their legs or their hip. That's something that the ball carrier don't want to get their butt down. They keep trying to run with the ball, and then you mess around and fall on their legs. So not much I can say. You got anything else to say?
No. I thought I did, but I don't.
All right. Well, we're going to get into NFL free agency. We've been talking about NFL free agency a lot over the past few weeks, and recent big move has been L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed was traded last week by the Kansas City Chiefs to the Tennessee Titans for a 2025 third-round pick and a swap of the 2024 seventh-round picks. This week, the Titans announced that they will be extending him for 4 years, $76 million. What does this move mean for both the Chiefs and the Titans?
It's surprising. I will say that. This is one of these players that you're like, oh, he's going to go to a team who's competing now mode. It's kind of like the Tyreek Hill, Miami and Kansas City trade.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody expected it. And right here, I remember when I looked at it, I was kind of taken back by it. And then when I saw what y'all gave, I'm like, okay, whoever's trading for him, there's at least going to be a first or a second involved in the trade. Mm-hmm. And then I saw that it was a third round and a swap of some sevenths. And y'all fleeced the Chiefs.
Y'all?
Aren't you a Titans fan?
Yeah, but I'm saying they don't. You gotta say. You saying y'all? We got you, bro. We got you.
But yeah, no, Titans fleeced the Chiefs so hard on this. They got a corner who's coming off a back-to-back champion team.
Yeah.
And they get to keep a first and second round pick to either build on to that secondary with him in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I say build on because I really don't know what the secondary for the Titans looks like right now.
It's not bad. We got still got a Money Hooker. We got Murphy Bunting. We got L'Jarius Sneed now. Yeah. We could definitely add another piece.
Yeah. So y'all have the first and second to build onto that.
We get linemen.
Honestly,
we get linemen.
Yeah, y'all do need linemen. And then the Chiefs essentially get nothing out of this. They lose one of their best DBs, but being, a third round pick. With that, they can use that on receiver. Receiver depth is so deep in this draft class to where I feel like this year, if this was any other year, this trade would hurt the Chiefs. But this year, with depth being so deep at positions they need,
mm-hmm.
I feel like they caught a lucky break on this one.
Yeah.
But Titans definitely win this trade without a doubt because they're able to keep their first and second round picks, and they got one of the best DBs in the league currently.
What you got, Tweety?
Yeah, Titans, great pickup, something they probably really needed. The Chiefs, top 5 defense last year. I think it's gonna hurt losing L'Jarius Sneed. He was a big part of that team, championship team back. I don't really see this being too smart for the Titans though, because I wouldn't even be in trying to win mode. But you grab a great player on a great trade. The Chiefs, you ain't give that much to them, but as I always say, they got to see something we don't see.
Right.
Like, you gotta see somebody in those later rounds that they can really pick up, and bring in and help them get to the next round that they think L'Jarius Sneed couldn't do.
I mean, they could have killed L'Jarius Sneed. They would have killed L'Jarius Sneed. But you got obviously 3 big guys: Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, and Chris Jones. They're putting all their money into those big guys. They've been there for all 3. Well, was it 4 championships?
2 champions.
3 championships. They just went back to back, and then they had the one in 2020.
No, 2 champions. Like
they just
oh.
So, yeah.
My brain ain't braining right now. I'll just give it a minute.
Bro. But so those 3 guys been there for all 3 Super Bowls, and and things about L'Jarius Sneed, he's a great corner, but what's going to hold him back is that he doesn't have any Pro Bowls or no All Pro, because when you're going into contract negotiations, they're going to look at that type of stuff and say, hey, you don't have, any Pro Bowls or All Pro, so we can't pay you the amount of money that we need to pay you, and that's going to be their excuse for trading him. Because, I think this is going to save them probably 20 to 25 million in cap room they can, use on their draft picks. And another thing about the Chiefs, they draft, pretty well. So I'm sure they're confident that they can do something with a 3rd rounder and some 7 round picks. But and then for the Titans, great pickup. I think they have a lot of cap space. I want to say the Titans have around 30 million, 35 million in cap space after letting go Derrick Henry and Tannehill, and then needs some help in the secondary. He's going to be a great help in the secondary. And then you have 4 years of him after this one. So this doesn't count this year. They got him for this year because the Chiefs franchise tag Sneed, then they're, extending him for another 4 years. So it's going to be great for the Titans secondary. I don't think it's too much of a loss for the Chiefs. I want to say it's a fairly 50-50 trade. But, L'Jarius Sneed, he doesn't have any Pro Bowls or no All Pros, but he's definitely a stud in the secondary, and he can make some very big plays like we saw in the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship.
I just want to play devil's advocate on that, what you just said. You said no Pro Bowls. All pros mean something, I feel like. So, I can understand where all pros will come to this. But, with Pro Bowl, the way it is now, I feel like Pro Bowls don't matter. So what? You appeared in a skills competition in a flag football
No, but game. You still getting voted by your peers to be.
Oh, yeah, you still getting voted.
It means a lot when you come in negotiations.
Now, like, if it was Sean Taylor Day Pro Bowl, then, I feel like there's more emphasis now put on all pros and Pro Bowls now.
Of course.
Being, Pro Bowl, you don't suit up on pads. You don't actually suit up, go out there and play, 15-minute quarters? Was it structured just a regular NFL game, or were the quarters slightly reduced? Yeah, I don't think anybody watched it unless they were just bored and had nothing to do. I know I didn't watch it. But Pro Bowls, if they were actually like All-Star games like they're supposed to be, I would understand where no Pro Bowls comes into the contract negotiation.
But you can't look at the game. When you're talking about going to a negotiation, they're looking for every single reason not to pay you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So if you don't have a Pro Bowl by your name, that's gonna mean something going to them negotiating. Next up, with some free agent moves, Tre'Davious White signed to the Los Angeles Rams. Former All-Pro corner Tre'Davious White is signed to the LA Rams on a 1-year, $8.5 million deal with the chance to go to $10 million based on incentives after having to be released by the Bills earlier in March. What does this move mean for the Rams?
That completely shocked me. He went from a team up north that was giving him big old contract, millions and millions and millions thrown at his way. And I believe he's 30 now? Is he 30? So, he was aging, but he was still on this big contract. And then he's kind of like the L'Jarius Sneed situation.
He's 29, but he will be 30 next season.
Okay. the L'Jarius Sneed situation, Rams are still a fairly big team. I will say that, but I believe there are teams that have overtaken the Rams in terms of premier destination.
Yeah.
So when I saw he was signed with the Rams, I'm like, okay, good pickup for Rams. They need the help there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the price. I saw it was a 1-year deal. And I feel like that's where the Rams are kind of blowing it, because I know if I'm the person making these signings, if I know my DB room needs the help and I want to go out and sign a mentor, I would have signed them to a 2 to 3 year deal instead of just a 1-year deal. And I don't think this is a situation where it's a prove it deal, because Trey White he's been hampered by injuries in the past couple of seasons, but when he plays, he makes an impression on the field.
Absolutely.
So I don't think this is a prove it deal. I think this is the Rams showing that we're putting our money somewhere else, but we're still addressing a need. It's a good pickup. I just would have signed him to a longer term contract.
What you got, Tweety?
Just as the last thing we just talking about,
Yeah.
the Rams suck. The Titans suck. So I mean, this is a great pickup, great for your defense. But man, what are you gonna do with it? I mean, you just picked them up for no reason. I mean, great deal. You can mentor some guys, you can get some guys better. But I mean, you just picked them up for no reason. I mean, you got the space for it, so you got the space.
I feel like this is one of those things where they're spending the money to spend the money.
Right.
So it's just, I feel like this is going to be something that he remembers come next season when it's renegotiation and they want to just slap, another 1 year cheap, say $7-8 million deal with incentives, and then eventually it's going to come back to bite them.
Well, that now they don't really have a lot of picks because they still, got rid of a lot of their picks a couple years ago to win that Super Bowl. So I think that's a lot that goes into it from that standpoint. I'm not sure what their cap room looks like, but obviously with Aaron Donald retiring, that should unload a little bit of it. I know they still got Matthew Stafford. I'm not sure if Puka Nacua on his second contract yet. But
he's an ISO on the rookie.
Yeah, okay. So they're gonna have to pay him eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably a cap space issue. It's probably a draft issue. And then obviously he's been injured the last couple of years. Can't pay him a lot of money, which probably a lot another factor when it comes to just giving him a 1 year deal. 8.5 is a lot, and he upgraded to 10 mil based on incentives. So I don't know. It's kind of a shrug my shoulders deal, but if he can show up and ball out, I mean, it's going to be great because I mean he's a good corner. When he's healthy, he can pressure best receiver. He's good in man, real physical. He can get real physical with your best receiver. So if he can show up and ball out, this is going to be a nice pickup for the Rams and a loss for the Bills. Well, it's time for our 5-minute fire takes. NFL free agents that are still left, notable NFL free agents that are still left. Running back Ezekiel Elliott, who is 29 years of age. Wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., who is 31 years of age. Safety Jamal Adams, who is 28 years of age. Corner Stephon Gilmore, who is 33 years of age. Left tackle David Bakhtiari, 32 years of age. Safety Justin Simmons, 30 years old. Corner Xavier Howard, 31 years old. Wide receiver Tyler Boyd, 29 years old. Safety Kyle Duggar, 28. Left tackle Mekhi Becton, 25. It doesn't have to be a player on this list, but who is a free agent out there that you guys really like, and what team would you like to see him on? Time starts now.
So I'm gonna go obviously Odell. If you've been keeping up with news, you know that he's been in Miami past couple of days, and he's been meeting in recently. Mike McDaniel was asked, and he just basically said, we think he has a number he'll like.
Mm-hmm.
So as a Miami fan, I'd love to see Odell come join Waddle and Tyreek. You already got the fastest receiving core, and then you already got one of the best running back rooms in the league with Mostert and A-Chain. And Tua, who has a better line than he did, his first 2 seasons in Miami. But, you can build that line in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So take the shot on Odell here. Add on to, the Tyreek and Waddle-led receiver core and see what he can do. My ideal contract for Odell, being he is 31, would be maybe a 2 to 3 year deal because he's aging, but I think he still has, at least 5 seasons left in him.
What you got, Tweety?
I really want to go Odell, because Odell, he's a very explosive player early in his career, and I believe Odell should he should be getting more respect than this, bro. He's only 31. There's no reason Odell shouldn't be on the team at 31 years old. But he's getting passed around. He's not getting no big deals that are worth anything. So, I think he's just jumping from championship team trying to get rings. I think he deserves more. He deserves to be on a, thicker contract. And, you got some very big names in this list right here. But, as you said, with the Titans, with their issues on the line, there's a left tackle in free agency. Since you got so much cap space, just go grab your left tackle. So I would want to see that move, That's a move I want to see. And, Ezekiel Elliott, just retire, bro. Just retire, bro. That's all I got about them names, bro. Just retire. And Jamal Adams is being disrespectful.
I got a couple moves I like. Only problem with the Titans is we're kind of notorious for having a bad medical team. So you got Dave Bakhtiari and Mekhi Becton, who are amazing linemen when they're playing, but their career has been riddled with injuries as of late. So those would be very nice moves, and then I'm sure you'd be able to get them for cheap just because of their injury history. But I probably wouldn't want to see a move like that. And yeah, for my Titans, I would love to see us pick up one of these secondary guys. I probably want to see Stephon Gilmore. He had an okay season for the Cowboys last year, but it wasn't amazing. And then obviously he is aging. I love Jamal Adams, a real physical guy. I love Cal Duggar, who leaving the Patriot system. So I would love to see us get one of these guys for our secondary. We finished the
I can keep talking. How long I got?
We got a
minute and a half.
Yeah,
all right. So as a Dolphins fan, Xavier Howard, I hate to see him leave, but as you were mentioning, Titans need DBs.
Mm-hmm.
You just mentioned Stephon Gilmore. He's 33. He's Asian. Xavier Howard's only 31, and who's to say Howard may have more playing time left than Gilmore. So, Howard, I think, would be good for Titans. Jamal Adams, real physical guy. I think no matter what team he ends up on, he's going to get affected by the hip drop tackle. All I'm saying, real physical guy.
Yeah.
But Adams, physicality always ain't the best. He can't be Madden Harrison Smith and just hit sticking everybody. So I'd like to see Jamal Adams get picked up by somebody, but I feel like with this new hip drop tackle rule, that would do more harm than, do more damage.
Yeah, I need Jamal Adams on the team, man. He can still play, bro. He's too good, bro.
He can still play. But I feel like with this new hit drop tackle, he's going to hurt a team more than help him now.
Well, that's our 5 minutes, man. And Damon, thank you for coming in on the NFL stuff.
No problem. No problem.
Come back when you like. We'll have you anytime.
Hey, listen, if y'all need somebody to talk NFL every week, I got y'all. As long as I ain't working, because football, they work me to death.
All right, bro. All right, Chris. Well, I want to say thank you to Damon again, but now we're finna go into some NBA. At the end of last week, the NBA G League Ignite announced, the NBA announced that their G League Ignite program is officially ending after only 4 seasons. Adam Silver cited NIL and college basketball as one of the main contributors to this decision. 10 players have been drafted from the G League Ignite since its inception, including 4 lottery players. Jalen Green, who was drafted 2nd overall in 2021. Jonathan Kuminga, who was drafted 7th overall in 2021. Dyson Daniels, who was drafted 8th overall in 2022. And Scoot Henderson, who was drafted 3rd overall in 2023. What do you think about this move to end the G League Ignite program?
I mean, since guys are getting paid for college now, I just think it's a move to make guys go back to college. I mean, they're trying to beef up the March Madness tournament, which has been,
it's been working pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's been kind of dry to me, bro.
But the women's game really took off this year, so it kind of been
overshadowed. No. That's not true. That's not true.
What you mean?
The women's game has took off for sure, but their tournament is not better than the men's tournament. I'll tell you why. There are no upsets in the women's tournament, bro. Like there are no upsets in the women's tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
You could literally I seen somebody, I forgot who it was. They just picked. I think it was Kenji Perkins. He just picked the number 1 in everything, like the number 1.
Oh, that was Shannon. I think that was Shannon. Yeah, I think that was Shannon.
I like truly and honestly think that's gonna work. Like it's like one of them not gonna make it. So like there's no excitement in that tournament. And now I'm getting off topic. The G League Ignite team was built for people to earn money, while they was at their like college age and not play college. But it was basically college, but it was against NBA. It was against former NBA players and people who didn't already make it all the way to the NBA. Yeah. So I believe it was a great dynamic. I mean, you pro. I mean, you making what, $250K, I think, something like that. I mean, you're a pro.
More. You probably make a couple mil. I mean, it's probably like NIL, but like
crazy, Cameron. A couple mil is crazy. I'm talking about like just a basic contract on there, bro. It's like
it's probably a mil. It's probably a mil.
You're not getting a million.
It's probably. I'm telling you. I'll put in edits. Okay,
right.
They definitely got paid a little bit more than the average G League player because they was under the the specific program.
Yeah, it's just no reason for it now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I share the same sentiments. Yeah, it was brought in to curb guys, top high school prospects that didn't want to go to college for a year, didn't want to go overseas for a year. Yeah, I mean, and it has some very shaky results, obviously, because there is some pros going to. When I say pros, I'm not talking about professionals. I'm saying benefits of going to the G League over at college. But as time has went on, it kind of seemed like going to the G League may hamper like experience as far as like G League games don't have a lot of people that go to them. You don't have that many games on TV like you have in college. College games, you got big rivalries, you got packed out arenas, you got big TV games. So, when you're learning to be a pro, I think is kind of important that you have some of that, going up. Obviously, you talking about top high school guys. They have packed out gyms and arenas when they're coming out of high school, and now you're saying, okay, go to G League for a year or maybe 2 years. Some guys do 2 years depending on when they start, and they come in and it's empty arenas. They're not getting that much social media coverage, not getting that much TV coverage. So I think that does hamper some development. I like to cite Scoot Henderson as an example. He has a lot of talent, but you haven't really seen it. His first year.
I have.
I mean, you see spurts, but he hasn't been what you would expect to be
Inconsistent.
for a third overall pick, and coming behind Dame, who they traded before the season started. So
I mean, the second half of not the second half of the season, but the second half of like, if you split this season in half, bro, he's been decent. Like,
yeah, I know. Well, I'm saying like he him and Jalen Green, because Jalen Green, he was good coming, first coming into the his first couple of years, but he's really starting to sprout more lately than how he was, when he first came in. And that's because, I think the G League, playing in G League for a year slows your development down, I think, in a way, because, as I've said, college, you have a lot of experience with, exposure and fans, packed out arenas, and all the other stuff. So going from packed out gyms and arenas in high school, quiet for a year or two while you in the G League, and then going back to that in the NBA, I don't really think that helped a lot of players who played in the G League Ignite program for the last 4 years. So moving on to the Jontay Porter betting investigation. On March 20th, in a game against the Phoenix Suns, Raptors two-way forward Jontay Porter played just 3 minutes before leaving the game because of what the Raptors said was an illness and did not return. He did not score, attempted and missed one shot, and had 2 rebounds. Sportsbooks had this over-under set at around 7.5 points and 5.5 rebounds for that game. The next day, DraftKings Sportsbooks reported to its users that Porter's prop bets were number one moneymaker from that night in the NBA. Porter missed the Raptors game this past Saturday against the Wizards for personal reasons, according to the team, and he is listed out for this past Monday's game against the Nets for personal reasons. He is now under an official investigation by the NBA. What do you think about this whole situation?
I don't know. I think the NBA might be dragging it, but at the same time, I don't think they dragging it because who bets that much money on? Like, nobody just up and just bet this money on this random dude that I know his face. Like, I don't even know his name. So like, who just grabs money out their pocket? Okay, then he go 100K right here, 10 times, put it on him right there. He ain't scoring it out. Like, what? That won't make sense, bro. Like, he definitely influenced something. Then his personal reason, like, what is so personal that you leave 3 minutes into the game?
Well, the first game that he played in, it was the Raptors said that he had an illness, and then the second game he was listed as personal reasons. But I think he was listed on the sports books, and then the one from Monday, was the day that they started the investigation, so they didn't allow him to play because media coverage and everything. But yeah, I gotta say the same thing. It's just weird. It's a very weird look for you to be a two-way player that I don't think many people have ever heard of, and then you all of a sudden you're the number one money maker for the NBA. You know what I'm saying? If for whatever random reason, if LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, or whatever was the number one money maker on a sports book just because they didn't reach a number of points or something like that, nobody will pay attention to that. But for a random small market Raptors team with a random two-way player that I don't think many people ever heard of to the automatic, so just surprisingly come up as being the number one money maker on DraftKings on a random on a random night is just it's gonna look weird. He had to have said something to somebody that he wasn't gonna play that long, and then that person told that person, and then the other person told that person, other person told that person. It just went on, and yeah, he's definitely is in some hot water. And this isn't just something that you can lose your job over, or get traded, or get released, all the other stuff. This is a crime. You can go to you can go to jail for manipulating a gambling pool. So uh, I hope the truth does come out, and I hope that his future will be uh, prosperous in a healthy way. Moving on to some NFL draft news. Michigan quarterback JJ McCarthy, fresh off his national championship, is now strongly believed to be going number 2 in the 2024 NFL draft to the Washington Commanders after a very impressive pro day and combine. His Michigan coach and now Los Angeles Chargers coach, Jim Harbaugh, quoted, "I think he plays quarterback the best of any quarterback in the draft. He's incredible. So big market, small market, cold weather, hot weather, it won't matter. That was the best throwing day I've ever seen. Like I predicted, once they were around him, I was hearing the stories about how he is on the board, how he is on the field, the little things, the intangibles. I mean, it's absolutely no surprise whatsoever. But yeah, they were raving, and it was great to hear and incredible to hear. What do you think about JJ McCarthy now being considered to be the second overall draft pick in the upcoming draft?"
Great combine day, and you know me, JJ. I think JJ McCarthy is the best quarterback in the draft. I also think JJ McCarthy is the best quarterback in the draft. I just think it's just the dynamics of him, man. Cool, good kid. He can move around real good in the pocket, manipulate the pocket. Do what he need to do. No diddy. I just believe McCarthy is a complete player, and he's played in conditions. So I believe he's ready for it. I mean, but I don't know. Number 2 in the draft might be a little disgraceful.
Bro, how he gonna be the best quarterback in the draft, but ain't go number 2?
No, that's just because like I'm a gambler, bro. Like I gamble. I'm gonna gamble. A lot of people don't. A lot of people NFL they not finna gamble, bro. Like they finna get right what's in their face, which is Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams. Those two are going first, bro. Like.
No, I think Marvin Harrison is going to go down a little bit now, because when you look at the top 3 teams where the top 3 teams that have the first 3 picks, it's the
They need
Bears.
everything. They
Well,
need
yeah,
everything.
they need
You
everything.
can't
But
name none one of them teams that don't need everything. So you cannot throw one of those teams picking up Marvin Harrison out the window. You cannot throw it out the window.
I mean, I can't throw it out the window, but I think the Commanders and the Patriots need a quarterback over everything. You got to have a quarterback, bro. You can't have a wide receiver and no quarterback to go to. Who?
Zappy.
He's not there anymore. I don't think he's with the Patriots no more.
They lost. Nah, yeah, take that back. Yeah, McCarthy's
Now they do have Brissett. They got Jacoby Brissett.
Bro. Really?
Okay, no, Zappy, he's still on the Patriots. But I mean, if they believed him, they wouldn't be drafting a quarterback.
Sam Darnold type dudes, bro. Like, bro, what is
I thought you said you like Zappy. I thought you said you like Zappy.
I like Zappy, but I think he's better than Sam Darnold.
Yeah, where is Sam Darnold actually?
I think he played for the Washington Commanders, doesn't he? I'm pretty sure.
He plays.
He
plays for the Vikings. He plays for the Vikings.
The Vikings. Hope worse.
But yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's better than Jaden Daniels. I'm a big fan of Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, what's wrong with Jaden Daniels? Jaden Daniels is nice, bro.
Over McCarthy?
Jaden Daniels is nice, bro. I mean, JJ McCarthy is a winner. I don't really think you can lose any one of these guys. But I mean, if the Commanders say JJ McCarthy is their guy, I mean, we gotta believe him. All he can do is just show up in ball, or show up in flop, and hopefully he shows up in ball. But Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be a nice fit for the Commanders. Commanders, they're rebuilding. They still got Scary Terry, but they need a quarterback. So whoever they think is going to be the quarterback for them, then they need to get them. Oh, and just to mention, JJ McCarthy was originally on the mock draft to be going 3 to the Patriots, but now he's now heavily linked to go to the Commanders at number 2. So more than likely, Jane Daniels might be going number 3 to the Patriots now. Next topic regarding not this year's draft, but next year's draft. Deion Sanders previously went on the $1 million worth of game podcast and talked about Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and them being in 2025 NFL draft. Coach Prime said on the $1 million worth of game podcast with Gillian Wallow, I know where I want them to go. So it's certain cities where it ain't going to happen. It's going to be in Eli, meaning Eli Manning. What do you think about his comments on Shedeur and Travis going to the draft next year?
Man, bro, you can't control where nobody going.
Yes, you can.
You can. You can influence it, bro. But man, if I want this dude on my team, that's my draft pick. Travis Hunter and Shedeur, I'm pretty sure they're going to be 2 first day picks. I mean, might not be 2 first.
Yeah, one of them is going out of the top 5 for sure.
So I mean, when you think about it, okay, you kept Shedeur in college to make him the number 1 quarterback picking out the draft next year. The number 1 quarterback picking out the draft does not have a say-so on where he goes. You think Caleb Williams want to go to the Bears, bro? Like you don't have a say-so on where you go.
I don't think Caleb Williams had the juice to be able to move like that, though. I don't think he got the juice to try to manipulate the draft.
Nobody does.
Eli did.
Eli did because
Elway did.
They did it, but it's a new age, bro. You can find another dude. You probably can find another Travis Hunter. I ain't about that. That's special. He's special. But yeah, you could probably find another Shedeur. You got Jaden Daniels coming out this year. I think Shedeur was the best quarterback in college this year, but you can find another one, bro. His quarterbacks probably not it. 2 quarterbacks probably not 1 woman these days, bro. You ain't bro. Come on, bro. Be sure.
Deion got cachet, bro. He got cachet. If anybody can change the wheel of the NFL draft, it'll definitely be him. And it's not out of the ordinary for you to see, guys kind of pick where they want to go. When we looking at in the NFL, obviously he mentioned by name Eli. Eli didn't want to go to the Chargers because he didn't want to be in the same conference as Peyton, his brother, who was playing, in the coast for the Colts at the time, because they didn't want to meet, in the AFC Championship, AFC Division, or whatever. If they were to meet, they wanted to meet in the Super Bowl. So he didn't want to go to the Chargers. The Chargers ended up trading him to the Giants, obviously. And then with Elway didn't want to go to the Baltimore Colts because he knew that they would have problems with their franchise. And then just a year or 2 after that, they moved to moved to Indianapolis and became the Indianapolis Colts. So then you look at basketball, Steve Francis, he didn't want to go to the Vancouver Grizzlies because obviously Vancouver, small market, different country. He didn't want to go there. So he was able to, he was nice. He was nice in college. He had the cachet. He was able to get them to trade him to the Houston Rockets. And then just recently, 2017, Lonzo, he was the highest thing. He could have won number 1, but LeVar, and Lonzo had the cachet to push him to number 2 so he can go stay at home in Los Angeles and play for the Lakers. So it's not, if you got cachet, if you got the juice, you can manipulate the draft.
I think it's a different time, bro. It's a different age and time, bro. It's too many great athletes.
What's Deion nickname?
He just made me
time. It's always his time, bro. Huh?
Oh yeah, okay. I call him Prime, so that just don't pop up on top of my head. hey, whatever Prime tries to do, bro, the best players in the draft are going where they want the best players to go, bro. If they don't perform well wherever they go, they get out the league, bro. Like nobody's gonna take second chance with you these days. It's so many players, bro. Nobody's putting up with attitudes as it were 2017 and down. Like it's different now. Like he might be able to manipulate them a couple picks down, but I mean, every top 10 pick is just a horrible team, bro. Unless it's a trade.
Not usually. I mean, if you can be in a situation like the Bears, who've been making moves to get Keenan Allen and Montez Sweat last year.
You think the Bears gonna be good this year?
I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying they've been making moves to make the roster better for them. You know what I'm saying? You can be in a situation where a team in the top 10 can just like the Bengals a few years ago with Joe Burrow when they was able to get Jamar Chase and other moves around him, and then in 2 years the Bengals was in the Super Bowl. So it's not a far stretch that a team in the top 10 can be able to manipulate their roster to get them in get a winning roster.
The Bengals, that was Mickey Mouse, bro. Mickey Mouse. I don't even know how they made it that year. That was just a pop up out of nowhere year.
Bro, they had talent. They had talent,
but where is that now?
Well, bro, he been hurt, bro. They don't got no line.
They ain't even made to the.
They had skill positions, but they didn't have a line. Joe Burrow's getting sacked every single play.
They made the AFC Championship since then.
Who?
The AFC Championship.
Well, no, I mean, obviously, there's always going to be one team that's always going to have a spot in the AFC Championship, and that's the Chiefs. So, out of the rest of the Bengals? But I'm saying,
they disappeared. They're gone.
Joey B been hurt, bro.
Joey B is one of my top 5 quarterbacks.
Right, and you know he been hurt. So how they gonna get that if he been hurt?
I mean, you know, the backup decent, bro. You can pick up Sam Darnold,
but they need a line, bro. They need a line.
I mean,
they still ain't got offensive line.
But you can name 5 teams right now with an offensive line that go to the Super Bowl.
Who?
Who is crazy? The Chicago Bears.
They have a shaky line.
The Tennessee Titans.
They have a bad line.
Denver Broncos line is kind of shaky. Okay, I'm kind of stuck here. But
the Jets have a bad line.
The Jets, definitely the Jets. And what's that guy that's always under pressure, always running? Baker Mayfield line kind of bad too. But who is that guy that's always running, bro? I can't think, bro. He's always evading the pocket. I can't even think. Wait, no, it was Justin Fields. I'm tweeting. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. Well, that's all we got for this episode. Episode 6 of the Fan Take. See you next week. Cam, that's Tweety, and we out.
Okay, see, I'm in the thunder. I be feeling like I'm chick. Switch up like KD, Draymond. Don't give me a tick. Double team, bitch, send your bitch. Hooping like I'm on the net. Working hard, can't get no rest. I wrapped it right off my chest.